And we are with a very prolific author, and her books, I love them as well. Melissa Bowersock, nice to have you back with us.
Well, thank you for having me again. It's
Congratulations, new book.
Yes, new book, yes, love it.
Finding Travis.
Yep.
Well, from the cover, I'd like to find Travis. You know.
He's kind of hot, isn't he?
He is kind of hot, but this is not a bodice ripper, so to speak. This is completely different. So you're talking about finding Travis. So who's Travis, and is he lost?
Okay, Travis is a modern man, a troubled man. His life is not going well, and he volunteers at Fort Verde in Camp Verde. And dresses in period costume and portrays the fort surgeon. And all of a sudden, one night, he gets flung back to the year 1877.
Whoa, and he has all the right clothes for the trip and everything.
Right, yes.
Well, because sometimes I know with time travel, they end up there with nothing on,
yes.
You know, which is kind of embarrassing.
That would be,
yeah,
yes.
Then you got to break into a clothing store, get clothes. But anyway, so finding Travis, okay, so this is obviously a period of time that he very much relates to and enjoys. So what happens? You know?
Yes, the problem comes in that he's portraying the fort surgeon, and so that's the role that he takes on there. And he does have some medical training. He's not a doctor. He does have some medical training. But he comes up against the fact that the medicine of the time is primitive. And he doesn't have painkillers. He doesn't have antibiotics. The instrumentation, the prognosis for almost anything serious was amputation.
Oh, let's just cut it off because it's bugging us.
Right.
You know, we don't know what else to do.
And because they couldn't manage the
Sure.
infection.
Exactly. Gangrene was huge.
Right.
I know it killed more Civil War soldiers than
Exactly.
you know you can
Exactly.
possibly count. But
Yeah.
so that's difficult. Number one, he's actually not a surgeon, but people believe he's a surgeon because that's just how the time travel thing turned out. And he's
Right.
trying to help the people, but he doesn't have any of the, you know, the tools or the knowledge to do
Yeah.
so. Wow.
Yeah.
How's he deal with that? I mean,
Well, with varying levels of success. Sometimes he does well, sometimes he does not.
but they don't lynch him right away.
They don't. They
So,
do think he's pretty strange.
Good.
But luckily, he has a striker. All the officers had an assistant called a striker, so he has a corporal that's helping him kind of muddle through this. And it's interesting. I mean, and I'm sure you know with writing, it just kind of takes on a life of its own. And so this Corporal Riley developed into this character that I just love. He's like my favorite guy in the whole book. And I've had so many other people come back and say, they love Corporal Riley. He's great. He needs his own book. So
yeah, we'll talk about a little bit about that other book possibly.
Yeah.
But so this is, you mentioned Camp Verde, Fort Camp Verde. How do you say that?
Fort Verde in Camp
Fort
Verde.
Verde in the Camp Verde. Okay,
Right.
a little confusing, but they do have great events there in real life.
They do.
You know, historical events and stuff. So this is a local setting book because you, I know, moved from the valley, as I recall, to the area, Cottonwood area. Or
Yeah,
something,
yeah. And what's interesting is that my husband and I volunteer at the fort,
Oh.
and I got this idea last December. We were dressed in period costume for the candlelight tours at Christmas time, where my husband was the commanding officer and I was his wife, and we would welcome people into our homes and let them tour, you know. And as we were standing there at one point looking out over the dark parade ground, you know, there's no lights, but there was a bonfire out there, and there was a couple of guys out there with the caped overcoats walking around the bonfire, and just looking out, and I thought, you know what? Just looking out here, you would never know it was not the 1880s.
Amazing.
You know, and that's where the idea came from.
Atmosphere and the whole bit. Well, I love time travel, and it's hugely popular now with the Outlander series.
Yes.
And of course, I always like it too because I always think it's possible. Why not?
Yeah.
You know, time and space don't really exist the way we see they do. So I'm sure we do have time travel, but this makes it more understandable for us as like mere humans.
Yes.
Kind of a thing.
Yes.
So the book stays authentic to 1877 as well.
Yeah,
How did you do that?
yeah, it was great because everybody at the fort was so helpful. I mean, they let me go through the old drawings, you know, the plat drawings and everything, and I got to wander through and take pictures of everything so I knew I was describing it correctly, and talk to some of the volunteers that have been there for decades, you know, and I would send them an email and what kind of underwear do they wear, you know, and what did they do about this and what, you know, and get whatever answers I needed. It was great.
Okay, that's amazing. So now when you walk through as a volunteer through, you know, Fort Verde, you're looking at, you're seeing Travis. You're like seeing all these memories, these ghost creatures.
Exactly.
These
Every time I
characters.
go there now, it's like, oh yeah, Travis was here.
It's like just
you know? Yes.
Okay, so we talked about like with this corporal that came along, you know, when you're writing, which again, you know, writing can surprise you. So
Yes.
and they become very real, and they sort of write their own stories too.
They
So
do.
are you going to do a sequel? Is this going to be a series? What, Melissa?
Do you know what? I have already finished the sequel. I'm still tweaking it, and we're still working on the cover a little bit, but it's called Being Travis.
Oh.
And it's the continuing adventures of Travis back in that time. He's now married, has a child on the way. He's homesteading a ranch up near Cornville. And
Okay, well, but time travel is iffy, Melissa, and so, you know, sometimes you think you're just, you know, you're going right along just like he was in, what year did he come from?
2016.
2016, so
Yeah.
you think you're just going along, and then all of a sudden, zap, you're back in 1877. Now he's building life in 1877. What happens if he, like, zaps back to 2016?
Do you know, when I started this, I actually thought that there might be some back and forth, but as I wrote, it didn't work out that way. He's there.
He's entrenched in 1877.
Yeah,
and
but
liking
of course
it.
he still has all the knowledge from the future, so again, he's still frustrated, you know, by some of the practices and things.
So he's bringing a lot of illumination to the times, probably,
is.
as well.
He is.
You know, from that forward knowledge. I know we joke about Roswell, New Mexico and things like that, how in 1949 our own technology changed. So what happened if, you know, if indeed it were true? We got a lot of stuff we hadn't had before. Possibly people who knew more than we did.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild. There's going to be people out there going, what? Are you kidding me? Did she just say something about UFOs bringing knowledge? Anyway, you know what? The imagination is a wonderful thing, and sometimes things are more true than we might imagine, too.
That's the
You
truth.
never know.
That's the truth.
And finding Travis is a blast. I want to find Travis now.
Yeah.
You know, just see what's going on there.
I think this is my best book yet. I really do. I love this book.
And this is your 15th.
Yes.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Great. 16's on. Watch out for that too.
Yeah.
Melissa Bowersock, books on Amazon and worldwide.
Yep.
Awesome. Fabulous. Finding Travis. Congrats. Nice to see you
Thank
again.
you. You too.